And how do you
Hey
pronounce?
everyone, this is Portia Jerry. Hey everyone, this is Corinne Lafont, your favorite radio host, your only radio host, broadcasting to you from Trinidad and Tobago. I have with me Jerry Cahalan. I think something happened there because I'm used to Callahan. So,
Yes.
yes, so I had to recheck and make sure it's Cahalan. It sounds
Yeah.
almost like if he's in Hawaii, you know.
Right. Right. Rather than Ireland. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I heard Callahan my whole life, and rarely did I correct him. I'd say, yeah, yeah, Callahan. That's right.
Right? Because the story you have to go through to explain Kahala, and it
Yeah.
makes no sense. Just say, yeah, whatever.
That's right.
I have Jerry with me, and I normally like to start my show being grateful, being thankful. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to have all my faculties intact. I'm thankful that it's a beautiful day. I can appreciate the beauty of the world. I can appreciate Jerry being here with me and what he's about to share. And I'm just so thankful for being alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always start my show that way. So Jerry, thank you for being here. Let me just give you a quick synopsis of Jerry. Jerry Cahalan is the founder and CEO of Click Giant, an internet marketing firm located in Charleston, South Carolina. Click Giant is mostly known for SEO, but also excels in web development, design, content creation, pay-per-click, which is PPC management, display advertising, social media management, and review building for over 60 clients and counting. He's going to walk through today the steps he used using keyword research, evaluating content, analyzing existing content, content strategy and placement, tracking rankings, and showing results. It sounds like a lot, and we have 30 minutes to do so, but if we go overboard, which I normally do, it shouldn't be a problem. And he's going to use a case study, one of 6 case studies. I think he's going to use Nectar. He's going to tell us a bit more about that to kind of demonstrate these 6 things that we're going to go through. And just to let you know that the other 5 studies, or all 6 case studies in detail, is available on his website. We're going to share that link with you so that you can go into more details with it and understand what's happening. So feel free to visit his website. That link, I'm going to show the video link. I'm going to show the link via video, I should say, so that you know where to go to, and it will be posted on YouTube on the video channel where you can get more. And of course, you can always reach out to Jerry whenever you're ready. So let's go. So Jerry, we're talking about optimizing SEO. That's a recent, sort of a recent type of phrase, this optimization. For those who are not familiar with what you mean by optimizing content to drive traffic and sales, because persons who are online entrepreneurs like myself and yourself, or persons who want to enter into that realm, the one frustrating thing is to be able to get persons to come to your website, to build that list, to get sales, for persons to see value, to be ranked on the first page or the top 3 of the first page when they go on the Google. That when persons put in certain keywords, and that's another thing, what are the keywords that person should use depending on where they are. And I guess by you sharing the case study, it will help us to know, based on that case study, what keywords were used to be able to get persons to be driven to the website, etc. So
Right.
start from basic and then build up from there. Off to you, Jerry.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. SEO has been around for a little while now, and there's 2 main different areas to look at. As you mentioned earlier, the PPC, or AdWords, which are the ads at the very top of any search that you do on Google. And this is how they make all their money. And there is a certain percentage of people who click on those ads, and it varies industry to industry.
Right.
But it could be anywhere between 20% to 60% of the people that do click on the ads. All the results below those ads, if you do a local search, probably starting with that little map pack that has 3 businesses with phone numbers and addresses and that kind of thing, or more in terms of 10 to 12 organic results, what we call organic or natural, meaning you don't have to pay. where you end up ranking is based on Google's algorithm. And the reason they came up with that was they felt like if they could do a good job, serving people results that did a good job of answering the question they have, or put the product in front of them that they're looking for, that they'll continue to use Google. So Google wants happy people when they use Google. And
that makes sense, because everybody goes Google. I mean, from the time you want to find out something, you're like Google or YouTube, which is connected to Google now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And, they have a tool called Analytics, and a lot of your listeners will probably, or at least some of them will be familiar with that. And that's a tool that tells you how much traffic did you get to your website? What did they do when they were on your website? And we can, there's a lot of insights we can take from that in terms of looking at how we present our content or our offers. But Google basically looks at a couple top ones: bounce rate. How many people left your site within a minute without looking at any other pages? That's a signal that maybe this isn't a good website to put here for self-publishing your book. 80% of the people bounce when they land here. So Google has to, assume that it's not great content. They want to look at pages per session. Another, again, how long are they staying on the website? How many pages do they look at? And all of these things go into what we call your domain authority. It's almost like a Google score. And they give you if you're optimized well, or you have good content, or your strategy is right and you kind of went into a niche or a specific area, so that there's not 10 million websites with the same content. Google gives you that chance by ranking you on page 1 somewhere, and you get clicks and visits. And if they like your site, Google will give you even more keyword rankings and more opportunities to talk to people via them visiting the site. And that's what I want to talk a little bit about is, why does ClickGiant talk about themselves as a content-driven SEO firm?
Hold on, Jerry. You're talking Google Analytics will tell you all of that. Now, I've heard of Google Analytics, and listening to you, I am like, my head is spinning out of control. You're talking, a whole lot of technical terms and stuff. And I mean, just the thought of Google Analytics, because you have Google Analytics, Google AdWords, Google AdSense, Google, and you're like, Google Insights. Then you do the social media. You have Facebook Insights. You have LinkedIn. You have Twitter, Instagram. I mean, Pinterest.
We could do 100 podcasts for each one of those, and still not get to the bottom of anything.
Yeah, and I'm like overwhelmed. I mean, my heart, it's too much. Remember, I'm an online entrepreneur. I'm in business here. I just want to put up stuff, sell my stuff, get it sold, make money. Really, this whole back end study. When am I gonna do my
business? I hear that a lot, and my answer is always, you don't have to worry. Just hire ClickGiant, and for $1 million a month, we will help you get straight.
Right, and here's where the show ends. Thank you so much, Jerry.
$500,000. But it is overwhelming. But we have tools that make it a lot easier. And one of the things our clients do love about our setup is that we have a live ranking dashboard. So all clients can look at their dashboard, and it shows every keyword, where you're ranked, have you moved up or down in the rankings, and then it connects to Google Analytics so you can see what your organic traffic is doing. And if Jerry tells you, well, here's what we've done for you, and in the past month, you now hit page 1 for these 7 keyword phrases, and you go Google and you go, yeah, wow, we're there. We're at number 6 and we're at number 8. But the real question is, what has that done for me? Other than just being ranked? And that's where the analytics comes in. We connect to analytics and we look at different segments. And one of those channels or segments is organic traffic. What people arrived at your site via a search, not your name or a direct visit or a referral from Facebook, but through search. And if we can show the client that your organic traffic or their organic traffic is up 32%, we know it can be attributed to those rankings and that new traffic because Google tells us what they searched. So
Okay.
it's very trackable.
You have organic, and what's the other one? You have different types of traffic.
Yeah,
Which
well,
is
the channels, right. And that's one of the first things I teach clients who aren't very familiar with analytics. When you go into analytics and if you look at the overall report, it will say you had 3,000 visitors in the last 30 days.
Right.
And your bounce rate is 68%, your pages per visitor 3.2, and it's a good start. But there's many channels that traffic comes through to get to your website. And so I like to go down to traffic, all traffic, channels, and then select organic and say, I want to just focus right now on what traffic came to my site via search. So I right now, I'm not interested in who found me based on my name. That's my good marketing, and they're looking me up or that somebody told them about me. Right. I don't want to know about who came from Facebook right now. That's a referral traffic, and I'll look at that later. I don't want email campaigns that I sent out and they came via, an e-blast.
Right.
I just want to know search.
Right.
So we spend a lot of time on search. And so that will say, instead of 3,000, it'll say, your organic search is, you had 800 visits and, it constitutes 37% of your traffic and it's up 17% from last month.
Okay. So that is something that will represent well. And how can you build? How would you know what you put? Well, I guess that is from persons, as you say, just looking for certain keywords and they found you. How would you know? How would you know the conversions of that into sales? Because that's really what you want.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if it depends on what type of company you are. If talking about sales, we have many e-commerce clients. In that case, your analytics is tied to your store and it's tied to AdWords and everything you do.
Right.
So when you go to that organic channel, it'll have a column that you'll tell it, I want to see what the value of these visits and conversions were. What were the sales? So if you use Shopify, it ties directly into analytics, and analytics will tell you you had 3,000 organic visits. Right. Here's what they, searched to get to you. And you had, a sale percentage, a conversion percentage of this. You had 28 transactions basically for $4,200. And so you can actually see what the organic traffic is worth. But for the purposes of this talk, a lot of what we do with building content is SEO related and not necessarily direct sales related. So it's a lot of people, in a lot of cases, people who are looking for information, they need to know more or want to know more, and we're going to help deliver those answers. We want to build our domain authority so that we can rank one day for self-publishing or companies that help you publish a book and things like that. So if they do buy or they do call and say, you know what, I decided I do need your help on this, I'm not going to do this on my own, that's fantastic. But the first goal and the level we're at with helping clients typically is to raise that authority and get them ranked for that more competitive keyword term.
Okay, I get that. If somebody can't afford, I'm going to get straight to it. If somebody can't afford hiring you,
right,
and they want to do it themselves, what are some basic things that
I want to talk about? That's great. I mean, that's why I did the blog. That
right.
Again, actually, it lines up perfectly. I did the blog. If has a lot of valuable stuff in there. And I go through 6 examples. So, and I break it down. How did I find the keywords that I wanted to use? What type of story are we putting together here? Is it a one-time blog? Is it something that belongs on the site full-time? What's the spin on the story and the content tilt? How does it match our brand, and why are we authoritative enough to talk about this stuff? Then so here's the piece we created for, let's say, Nectar. Where did it end up ranking? How many people visited because of that ranking? And then now where are they in terms of additional rankings and domain authority? So it's a lot of it's in there, but also I'm doing it as I just said before. I'm answering a lot of questions that entrepreneurs have, and some of them are new to online, and by helping them, they find my blog ranked for how do you optimize content to get ranked well for SEO and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If it's written well and it has a lot of valuable insights, they'll stay on my site for a few minutes and maybe even look at a few more pages, raising my authority so that hopefully one day I'm number one for content, SEO, and not just, a 9-word phrase. But I'll get into that. And the reason we talk about content is that in the old days, you could just change the meta information on your website and do really well. So title tags, H1s, meta descriptions. Mm-hmm. If I just got into your website, sometimes in 15 minutes, by changing your title tags and adding some keywords, I could get you onto page 1. That was 10 years ago. Then we went through a phase of we could buy backlinks, right? We could pay sites to link to your site so that Google had that in their algorithm as a very valuable thing because they felt like it was if companies like you and would link to you, that you must be good. Mm-hmm. So all of us SEOs really abused that and really worked the system for a long time. And so you had
really like the backlink thing. The backlink thing was something that I probably didn't get into it too much, but I know there was some connectivity. Oh my God, somebody's making noise outside. They're drilling. They decided to do that right now.
Yeah.
Are you hearing that?
A little bit.
Okay, once it's not too much. Yeah. The backlink things is something that something didn't feel right about that. This whole connection. And I noticed that there were some people that did a backlink to me. I didn't know how they did it, but somehow it just didn't resonate with me for some reason. So you're saying they're no longer doing that. Yeah,
they took away they took away the SEO value to it. So you can have the links, but not only that, they added a lot of penalties that can be had if it looks like you're trying to rank better by getting those types of links. No, so originally
anything that's underhanded or the sense that you're abusing it, they're like,
right. Right, and they have tools to say, well, they know what type of site it is that's now linking to you, and they can tell how many other links are going out of there. And so if you take so that you can't, the meta information isn't enough, the links can't be done. Content's really all we have left. Right. And so the idea is that traffic now is what you really want, but to build more traffic, because your domain authority goes up, the more traffic you have, the more popular you are, the more your authority goes up and you rank for more keywords and you get more traffic. The thing that frustrates people when they hear these talks and they look at some of the examples is it's a catch-20 or the chicken and the egg thing, catch-22. You're telling me I need to get traffic to get more traffic. So how do I get traffic? And that's what I want to tell you how to do.
Yeah.
How do you get that?
Before you go into that, what I'm thinking, okay, simple thing. You have a website, you start writing blogs because everybody says content is king. You have to write blogs. You write your blogs and you have the little box at the end that says comment, give us your feedback. You're looking for that interaction with your audience. And most of the times you're not seeing anybody commenting.
Right.
You go to many sites and they just have their blogs and it's sitting there.
Right.
And you don't see that engagement. What does that mean? And then the owner of the website seem to project this image that they're doing so well that they're making money. They're a 5, 6, 7-figure earner, and you're wondering how
right.
is there a relationship between them? What?
Yeah, well, that's a good topic too, because I've heard that from people. They say, well, I thought I built some blog, people, some loyal blog people, they signed up or something or other, and I don't know if they're reading them anymore. If that ever happened, that was in the first year or so, where you had thought leaders, innovators in their space that were really sharp people that you said, man, I'm going to sign up so that I get an alert so I can read this person's article once every 2 weeks because they're really good. Then we were inundated. There's millions now. People aren't signed up, right? They're not unless you're, an author like a Malcolm, Gladwell, writing for the New Yorker. People are not signing up. They don't know when your last blog went out.
Yeah.
Unless you remind them on social media or through an e-blast campaign to remind them that you have some valuable stuff.
Yeah.
The majority is that initially the trendsetters and the early adapters and all the people who are really the journalist types within every industry, they'll all read it and they'll kind of talk about it if it's good, and they'll pass it around a little bit. But then for the next few years, what makes or breaks it is, do people find it online? Did it have some kind of value where it was answering a question that people have online? So we use tools to find out what are people searching. It's a little bit like the tail wagging the dog now. It used to be, I mean, we were dealing with, big brands like CBS and ABC deciding, I think the people would like this, so let's create this content and we'll hopefully, a show about a dog that rescues a kid is a good thing. Yeah. Now we're looking at what people want because we know what they're asking for and what they're typing in. Mm-hmm. And we want to meet that request if we can, if it meets our, if it fits the brand that we're working with, mm-hmm. and fill that void. So we have tools that literally tell us sunglasses for snowboarding is searched 6,200 times a month. Mm-hmm. All right. So we go, well, we're working with Nectar Sunglasses, and they are all about the daredevil hipster lifestyle. Yeah. And their demo is a bunch of young snowboarders and water skiers and kids. So we see something like that and say, wow, that could, we've done some articles with skateboarders already or surfers. So why not snowboarders? Yeah. And so we know the exact phrase. What we want to do is present a piece of content to Google first, mm-hmm. that goes beyond what's out there. So we do a little research on what already exists. So we can see what comes up on page 1 for best sunglasses for snowboarding, right? Mm-hmm. We look at that content and we evaluate, has anything really great been done here? Or are most of these here kind of by default, right? Sunglasses. Yeah, here's a snowboarder that sponsors, we sponsor the snowboarder and he wears our sunglasses. And it's like 2 paragraphs. Has anyone taken the time to write 800 words on why their sunglasses are good for snowboarding and give me more than one reason, or mm-hmm. just because they look cool? Mm-hmm. So that's what we do. And in the case studies that we were going to cover, and we'll cover more of them in the next episode. The first one was Nectar, and if you're ready, I'll go through that a little.
I'm trying to find Nectar. Oh, here it is, Nectar Sunglasses. Yeah. So while you're talking about it, I can have it up. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and you went through some of the things, the keyword research part. Mm-hmm. Well, number 2 in this process is analyze the existing content that's already on page 1. So can we do something better than what's out there? Mm-hmm. Then once we make our piece live, if it's a blog or if it's an interior page of the website or mm-hmm. an ongoing thing, we want to track those keywords and rankings. So that's where our live dashboard comes in. We're going to track every keyword related to this topic. We want to monitor the progress, and we're going to analyze those results. Did we get good rankings and did we get traffic? And then we'll tell the client, here's what we're seeing in terms of traffic. So Nectar Sunglasses, they're another of, I say another because when Warby Parker had their success being first to market for affordable designer glasses direct to you, rather than having to go to Saks Fifth Ave and pay $400 for a pair of Gucci sunglasses, they were like Casper just did with beds, right? With bed in a box and these beds that show up at your apartment. They did that with sunglasses, and they had such success that there are nearly 200 brands now that sell sunglasses online, and Nectar's one of them. Okay. And Nectar is all about living the sweet life. These 2 guys, the owners are great. They do surf, they do snowboard.
Well, Nectar, it's sweet. Hey.
They want to live the sweet life, and they always say it's about doing epic things, right? Yeah. That's their and brand.
That's the life, epic.
That's right. Epic.
Do something that nobody else wants to do, or they're afraid of doing, or they just right. Do it, just live. Yeah.
Right. And who doesn't want to do epic things?
Hello, there are people who don't. There are people who don't. They're very restrictive, and things must be in a particular box, and so boring. Right.
We have no time for that.
We have no time for that. That's right.
So snowboarding. Mm-hmm. was a good fit. So we use our tools, right? And we look, what's sunglasses online, affordable sunglasses online. What are new trends and keyword searches related to sunglasses? Yeah. And we came across the snowboarding. So like we already talked about, snowboarding was a good fit for Nectar. So, okay, now we know that it's a fit. Okay, but snowboarding sunglasses, can we get ranked for an article that has 600, 700, 800 words related to snowboarding sunglasses? We weren't sure because it's all related to competition. And if we do a blog or a piece or even just web copy,
right,
if we get stuck in the middle of page 2, in other words, if we make it to 15, the 15th spot, but go no higher, that's not enough for us or our clients, because you've really got to get to page 1 and preferably the top half of page 1.
That's right, the top 5.
To get that traffic.
Yeah.
If we don't get the traffic, we didn't do anything really, other than saying, well, the client was happy for a week because they got to 15. Yeah. So what do we do? We go a little bit deeper. We could talk about a certain type of snowboard if we had to. We could talk about we could say best sunglasses for snowboarding in Colorado, best sunglasses for snowboarding on the East Coast, right? At Camelback Mountain in Pennsylvania if we had to. We decided to just add the adjective best. So best snowboarding sunglasses, we felt like if we write this well, we should be able to prove that we're the best snowboarding sunglasses. So that's how we decided on it. We decided to do a blog post that would feature 10 styles of Nectar sunglasses that we felt paired well with that downhill daredevil type lifestyle, right? This whole epic thing. Yeah. And we would explain why. And also we knew if the blog ranked well, right away there's 10 things you can buy right in the blog. Yeah. Like here they are, you know? So we did this in a humorous, everybody's style is just fine. And there are just as many serious pieces. I happen to like the humor because I feel like if I can get people laughing, they'll read a little more. And then they decide, let me look at this product a little. But I took all of these terms that they had, polarized / UV protective lenses. Well, what does that mean for snowboarding? We translated that to clear vision on the slopes while reducing the harmful rays because you're outside.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah, it's just really easy stuff.
Relatable. Yeah.
They use these terms. Thermoplastic memory frames. What
the hell is that?
What that means to a 24-year-old kid, I have no idea. So we said what that means is they're flexible and durable, which can be really important during a face plant on the mountain. Like if your face goes into the snow, they're not going to break. You're gonna have a pair of sunglasses after that. So
because you can't buy a pair of sunglasses when you're deep in the snow.
In the middle of the mountain,
That's right. There's no shop across there. You're right.
Yeah.
What I picked up so far, Jerry, is that instead of just throwing content at people, you're talking about writing content, but what type of content? Content that people need. You're trying to solve a problem, solve an issue. Give people what they need, as opposed to thinking they need this and then hoping that that's what they need, but trying to find out what they need. Now, I know the approach to that outside of what you're doing typically is join groups. So you go into LinkedIn, you go into Google Plus, and you kind of join groups and you interact and you get to learn the questions and build a credibility there with persons to kind of find out what are people asking, what are people searching for. I still do that, or I still see that. I haven't been as aggressive as I should be, but is that some of the ways that you guys do it, or you just use Google, put in certain keywords, see what comes up, and then drill down further?
It starts with Google, and I know what you're saying, and that's a good point. In the old, remember all of the big brands in the old days, they did, what's the term for the research they would do with certain demos to find out if the product might resonate with them, or is this something that they, all those different, groups. I can't think of the actual term right now, but these days we don't have to go quite that far. And no one has the budget for that. You got a couple grand a month to go on the internet.
It takes time because for you to, I'm like, wow, probably that's why I never really pursued it, because I'm like, get to know in a group, to come like networking, face-to-face networking, and you go to an event. How many events do you really have to go to in order for you to get that one client. People will be like, go to network, get to know people. How many do you have to do? And how many business cards you have to carry? How many introductions? You know, you really don't have the time. It takes a lot of time and massaging and proving yourself amongst the competition there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you going like what you're saying, it made me think of focus groups was that term I was looking for. But
yeah.
Imagine, so one way people think of it is, well, I go to these groups or I go to that show, right? I went to the show in Vegas and I met 3 gentlemen that own sunglasses shops in the Colorado area near where some of these ski resorts are, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got a guy right near Breckenridge, Colorado. It's going to be great because people stop there to get a scarf or earmuffs or sunglasses, stuff they didn't have before they go skiing.
Mm-hmm.
And he has, because I talk so much about why we're good at snowboarding or why Nectar is great for snowboarding, he's agreed to put 3 pairs of Nectar sunglasses in his shop, right?
Right.
And you go, oh, it's fantastic. And it is good, right? Man, maybe you sell another couple 200 a year because that guy has them.
Right.
And you're getting your brand out there. What we're doing is our goal is to rank #1 for snowboarding sunglasses so that 10,000 people a month find out that you're the best sunglasses for snowboarding and they order them on the spot.
Awesome.
We're cutting out that middleman and we're telling Google and the people who search for sunglasses, anything related to snowboarding or skiing, it's us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
It's a manipulation of the algorithm, because that's another thing that Google looks for. Are you trying to manipulate? Just like Amazon has changed things. Every time I go back into Amazon, because I'm a self-publishing consultant,
mm-hmm.
they realize, I've seen a change, and I think it's because they realize that people are misusing the system to be able to put their books in certain categories. At one point, they had the number of persons in categories. So,
mm-hmm.
you know, you could have said to yourself, oh, I want to be an Amazon bestseller. If I go into this category, there's like 5,000 people here or 10,000. No, I can't put myself there. I'm going to put myself in probably the 3,000 or the 1,000 something. So I know my book is going to go up. They remove those numbers so that you can't tell how many persons are there anymore.
Right.
So is it a manipulation?
No, we don't believe that they'll ever change this part. This is just like any of the publications online that write about products and they give their own opinion. You know, it's humor based, but this comes from the brand. So this comes from Nectar's website saying, look, we're trying to help you live the epic life, right? And do epic things. And you're a daredevil. It's today. There's no tomorrow. Have fun. Get out there. Be your best self.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're writing through their voice.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are snowboarders. So we'll have a picture of their whole crew skiing, snowboarding, and put, here's why we believe our own product. We believe Nectar is the best sunglasses on the market for snowboarding. And here's why. We're going to give you 3 reasons that you can believe. And you're gonna look really sexy on the slopes. I mean, let's just look
sexy on the slopes. I love that.
Sexy on the slopes. That was one of the titles I wanted to go with.
Yeah, who doesn't want to look sexy on the slopes? Hello.
Yeah.
Right? Just like when you go to the gym. I mean, women tend to, they're not going to go with any sloppy looking outfit. Everything has to match. They have to look good.
Right. That's right. That's who we are. So we're not going to stop that part. We just help sell a few more.
Oh, this is awesome. The best sunglasses for snowboarders, like what you were saying.
Yeah, I don't typically say this because sometimes the content, this live stuff we do, the project might have been from 2 months ago, or who knows what the client did. For all we know, in past projects, sometimes content's been removed by the time, and I'm still talking about it a year later.
Yeah.
But in this case, I think I checked it just a few weeks ago when I did another podcast. So, you know, if you Google snowboarding best sunglasses for snowboarding, you should see them.
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with.
Are you Googling
best sunglasses?
I hope I'm right about this.
Well, whether or not, it doesn't matter. We'll find out. Best sunglasses for snowboarding, right?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. We're going to give it a test. Nectar!
All right.
All right.
Thank God. I really shouldn't have done that.
That's putting you on the spot, Jimmy. That's putting
Yeah, well, and sometimes, sometimes Google will make an algorithm update or something, and if something goes from 1 to 4 or whatever, but
it's at the top. It's at the top.
that's awesome. So,
and who is this? All About Vision? No. Who is All About Vision? They're second. So Nectar
right.
is here.
Yes, Nectar.
So let me ask you, you write the blogs and here is a guy again looking sexy on the slopes.
Yep.
Is it that you write the blogs for them based on what you have researched with Google, or you write blogs?
It's like we have to know the brand pretty well, and we may share that with the client. We may say, there's 6,000 searches a month for, the best snowboarding sunglasses. Is that something you feel you'd like to, is that a category you'd like to own? Does it, because it may not fit with what they think the brand. In their case, they were like, what are you kidding me? We sponsor a couple of snowboarders. Like, we pay money so that there's a Nectar logo on their jacket. So why wouldn't we want another idea we had for them? And I won't go into it. I know we barely have enough time for even one.
That's all right.
They sponsor athletes, mostly surfers, skiers, skateboarders, because it's the Epic Life. It's a young demo of almost like X Games type guys.
Yeah.
They pay them to wear the sunglasses, free sunglasses for life. They'll sponsor them a couple grand if you wear our sunglasses during that tournament or whatever. What I found out was that a lot of these surfers and skateboarders, if you search their name plus sunglasses, there wasn't a whole lot there. It might be a lot of pictures on Google of someone saying, I took a picture of him. What sunglasses is he wearing?
Right.
So I did about 5 of them, I think. And after just 2 weeks, if you put in any of those surfers' names plus the word sunglasses, Nectar was number 1. Wow. So the power that has with kids wanting to emulate these surfers.
Yeah.
Them saying, oh, I just saw this guy. What kind of sunglasses does he wear? Any surfer's name with the word sunglasses, and Nectar was number 1. And it was saying, I wear Nectars because this, and this when I'm out at the beach.
I wanna try something. I put you on the spot. So here I'm gonna ask you a question in terms of my business. So I have the self-publishinguniversity.com.
Yeah.
So what are some keywords, or how can we find out where I'm ranking? So like for my name as a speaker, CorinneLafont.com, as well as the Self-Publishing University, where I'm pushing more of my products, courses, programs. I'm going to be bringing out some more of those. I want to be able to rank, at the top. I want people to see that I'm an authority. I want to be able to drive traffic to my website, and of course be able to generate sales. What would you suggest for me? Use me as a test and guinea pig. Put me on the spot here now.
Now I'm going to put you in one of the tools I like to use right now. Which URL are we doing your name?
No, you can do the selfpublishinguniversity.com.
Self-Publishing University. Okay. Let me just pull that up.
I think it's the self-publishing, yes.
Yeah, I wanted to get it and then copy so I don't make a mistake when I put it in the tool. The Self-Publishing University use Fedora or?
No.
Okay, I see it.
The selfpublishinguniversity.com.
Okay, that's a different thing you're using, yes.
I have some courses on, it used to be Use Fedora. That was Teachable. It's Teachable now.
Yep.
So that was the old name. Use Fedora.
Okay, perfect. All right, so.
But this is the site here.
I'm popping you in to a tool I love to use called SEMrush. All one word, SEMrush. And there's a free version where you can get some information and a few keywords. Then they want you to pay. I think we pay like $79 a month.
What do you call it? SEM?
Yeah, as in search engine marketing, SEMrush.com.
RUSH?
But also, and I'll explain more of this in the next talk, but AdWords, their keyword tool is fine and free. You just have to sign up as if you're going to do an AdWords campaign.
Right.
You don't have to have one live, and you don't have to even put your card in, I don't think.
No. I think that's on AdWords. And once you're with Google, you can sign up for AdWords, AdSense.
Yep, Keyword Planner.
Yeah,
the Keyword Planner is a great one. Okay, so, okay, I've got you, Corinne. We have we have, oh, you're going to need a little bit of help. You need
Yes, I do.
you need some ClickGiant. All right. So there's not a ton of info here. There's only 3 things that that SEMrush has you indexed for that might drive any clicks at all, which is Daryl Fletcher.
Yes.
Have faith in your dreams, which is a little broad. I'd like
Yeah.
to get you have faith in you're going to get published one day. And write your book in 90 days. That's a decent one. But so your positions for those were 88, 85, and 71. So page 8 and 9. So do you get almost no traffic at this point with this site?
Almost.
Okay.
That's
So
coming under my courses.
So let's.
But I wanted it has to be the place where everybody goes to for everything. It has to be the one stop,
Yes. Well, and I'll talk with you about this. I try to help. Yeah.
Offline.
We'll talk a little more about how I can get you going, but let's use the keyword planner tool that we just talked about to just find a few that would even start us on the path to what might be good for you. All right. So we're going to go to, I have to go in. My other tab went down. So let me just go through one of my actual clients and go into a planner. Self-publishing your book. Is that one of the top?
Yeah.
Okay. When you get into planner, you can have it be set to the whole country, the whole world, whichever country.
The whole global, yeah.
Yeah, so just make sure you look down at that and say, okay, if it's all locations, that's typically the country you're in. All right, we're going to put in how to self-publish a book. And this is a great topic, by the way, because to get specific, we want to get much more specific, as I like to say, hyper-specific.
Hyper-specific.
Yeah, hyper-specific. So if here's how it goes. The competition's so great at the top, so that if you wanted to rank number 1 for book, I would say that's going to be tough, right? Then you say, okay, how about number 1 for publishing a book? That's going to be very tough. That would be worth probably, a couple $1 million to be there. How to publish your own book, how to self-publish a book, how to self-publish a book about fly fishing. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
We want to go as far as we have to go to get ranked in the top 3, basically. If then you'll say to, well, how often is that searched? And I'll say, how to self-publish a book on fly fishing 20 times a month. That's how often that's searched.
Yeah.
But we're going to, because we are the real thing, because we wrote great content about how you would do that, and we're passionate about fly fishing too.
Yeah.
The person who finds it's going to read the whole thing. It's going to take 3 to 4 minutes. Then they're going to look at 3 more pages because we're going to talk about other successful fly fishing guides that we help get published.
That's right.
Google's going to see it. They're going to love it. We're going to start. If I told you that within 3 or 4 months, you're going to rank number 9 for fly fishing books, believe it or not. That's how this is going to work. And now you're going to be getting 3,000 visits a month versus 300.
Yeah.
And all of that is going to raise up that domain authority. So, all right, looking at you and this topic, Google tells me that how to self-publish a book is searched 9,900 times a month.
Wow.
And they consider it high traffic. Suggested bid on AdWords, $6 a click. So pretty competitive. Self-publishing is even above, as you can imagine. So that's twice the search is 18,000.
Wow.
How to publish a book, 22,000. So what now? Let's find an example of what I was just talking about. How to self-publish a book
on fly fishing.
About fishing, yeah. I want to just see what they come up with. Publish book on fishing, I think is around 600. how to publish a book, fishing guides. So it's starting to give some examples of that. Now, so it'll tell you the average monthly search is lower the better, really, for what we're talking about. Okay. Because if the average monthly searches is, let's say, above 5,000 a month, you have everyone who's in the industry has been paying attention to it.
Right.
So we want to keep going further. And so let me just walk you through the end of the Nectar case study, because I think it'll explain this a little, just like we were going to do live.
Okay.
So we talked about the piece itself, polarized protective lenses, thermoplastic memory, they're durable. We did the piece after a few short, and you looked it up. It's number one for best snowboarding sunglasses. It took about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and we were number one for the main keyword phrase, which is what we knew we needed to get first: best snowboarding sunglasses.
Right.
But wait, it gets better. And in the article I write, no pun intended. Well, pun intended. Like a snowball rolling downhill. This piece gathered clicks, visits, shares, and before long, it was an avalanche of rankings and visits. And now it ranks to almost everything related to snowboarding and sunglasses. So the top term above best was snowboarding sunglasses. That's it. That's the number one term, and it's searched, I think, 6,000 times, or 3,600 times a month, whatever that number is.
Wow.
We're number one for that, or were for a long time. I think if you do the search, we still are. Now, this snowboarding blog, this gives you an idea. Nectar, like all the other brands, they were trying to fight it out for just sunglasses online, right? So they put in their title tags, we're sunglasses. We sell sunglasses. And they haven't had a lot of success. If you use that same tool, SEMrush, they'll tell you what the website is ranked for. SEMrush right now today will tell you that 4 of Nectar's top 7 keyword rankings in terms of traffic to their site are snowboarding related. Yeah. That's from one blog. One.
Wow.
It's around 500 words. You can see the blog if you search the snowboarding thing. But for all of the listeners, if you want to go check it out and see what that blog looks like, we're talking about 500 words and a couple humorous lines about not breaking when you do a face plant when you're snowboarding, and it constitutes some of the best rankings this brand has because we wanted to be great. No other sunglass brand that we found had written 500 words on why they were truly the best sunglasses for snowboarding, which seems kind of incredible at this day and age. In this day and age, with the competition the way we know it is, that you could go and sunglasses and skiing, like. Everyone up there's wearing them. Every brand should, you would think. But that's the beauty, is there's a lot more opportunities than you think out there. Once brands start getting traffic and making sales, they stop writing blogs. They just go to work, and that's where we just go a little above and beyond them. And you can beat them with the right keyword research and well-written stuff that you have to know what you're talking about, and you have to do the research. But
how often do you write a blog? So let's say the blog is doing well. I mean, it's always recommended you should do a blog a week. That's what we have been told, or at minimum once every 2 weeks. And that is, of course, in the traditional approach, the 10-year plus approach, where you're expecting people to come to your site, you write something, and they come to your site automatically. But with your approach, where you're doing the Google search and you may write something and put it out there on the website, how often do you think you should do a blog?
That's a great question. And I think that whoever came up with that once a week, it was pretty decent. It still stands really after years. We're still saying that. I think that's the minimum. The minimum and also it's for lack of a great idea. I would say that is a good practice, because at the end of the year, you'd have 52, 55 blogs that have 500 words each.
Yes.
And that can be powerful in itself, even if you didn't get a ton of traffic through any one of them.
Right.
So I would say a minimum of 500 word blog each week. But what you're really wanting to do is write something that's truly special. So if you, for instance, we'll talk about this next time, but we did a piece for a jewelry store in New York that does vintage engagement rings. We did a piece on all the different stones that can be in an engagement ring other than diamonds.
Really?
And what are their meanings, right? And that piece of content delivers somewhere around 3,000 visits a month now for her, and has helped boost her from position 83 for antique engagement rings, or in antique diamond engagement rings, one of the two, from position 83 to number 11 or 10 now. So I think she's on the first page. She's going back and forth. So up 70 spots. So that piece took 2 or 3 weeks to put together, because we had to double check. Can we say this about emeralds and rubies? And is this legitimate? And in what era did this start? What queen wore this first, right?
Yeah.
What Hollywood star, was it Marilyn Monroe, or who wore this opal the first time? And people said, oh my God, that's now an option. That's cool.
Yeah.
So we did that. And so a piece like that might take a little bit longer. If you can get experts to chime in, for instance, if you're doing that piece about how to publish, how to self-publish a book on fly fishing, if you could get 2 other ex-fly fishing guides who have published books to just give you a little soundbite in that blog saying, I finally broke through when I did this, those things are just huge, and you're delivering real value. So
wow, that is awesome. So what are you saying, Jerry, for persons, and I mean, I have to look at the 2 sides of the coin. There are persons who are new to this. It's overwhelming. They would want to hire help, but they can't afford to hire help. What can they do? And then the other side of the coin is, yes, I mean, that's easier. Persons who may have the resources to be able to hire you to do this so that they can focus on the business, the other side of the business.
Yeah.
But for the persons, I try to target the persons who really don't have the money and struggling, and they want help.
They better be a writer then, I guess. I mean, usually an entrepreneur knows how to talk about what they got into. If they let's say that they do know what they're talking about and they're passionate, but they simply cannot write, I would go find a freelancer out there. There's multiple sites that have freelancers that are begging to write a 500-word blog for $30. Then I would suggest, obviously, editing, heavily editing it, making it your own a little bit. But for $30 or $40, you can get a 500-word blog that's backed by, based on some legitimate facts out there that they find. And I wouldn't worry too much about the tone. Remember, you're not going to be pushing people that land on your site to these blogs. You're using these blogs as gateways to get people to your site. So don't worry about, well, that's not the best thing I ever thought of, that idea. I don't know if I want people to see it. They're not going to see it when they land on your site. They're going to come to your site because of it.
I'm not getting that. Come again, Jerry.
Well, that's one thing that a lot of clients early on, they get worried. They say, all right, I see what you guys wrote, and it seems a little basic for what, the kind of expert level that we do some of these things on. And what we're explaining is that we're not putting this blog like in the content on the homepage or linking to saying, read our blog or check out this piece. You can't find it in the navigation unless maybe you went to blogs and clicked back previous, all the way back. People aren't doing that. They're not going there to then read old blogs of yours.
Yeah.
They're in the market for a product or a service. So don't worry about the user experience side. We're creating a piece of content that gets ranked number 3 for how do you publish, how do you self-publish this? That's how they're going to find you. And they're coming in via that blog. So they'll either read all of it or read half of it and say, oh, okay, all right, I get it. But, oh, look, they do this stuff. And then they navigate up into that away to where they need to go.
So then what are you saying? It has been recommended that you should have a blog on your navigation bar. You have the about, the contact us, the services, and blog, so that it makes it easy for persons to find you. So you could have the most featured blogs, or you can have the most read blogs, in the sidebar.
Right.
Kind of thing. It makes it easy. You can go through the history. You can have it in months. So if somebody wanted to see what happened, what blogs you wrote for January, February, whatever, they can find it. I mean, Are you saying that you shouldn't have blog as one of the menu items?
No, you can't. I personally don't like it that much anymore, but there's no reason you can't have it. I think originally it was the least you could do in terms of on-page SEO. You wanted to link from your homepage to the blog to give juice to the blog and validity to the blog. We also thought people might read them and go, wow, look how witty Jerry is. He's so smart and witty and funny. People, they're not reading blogs. When people find us ranked for certain SEO terms, that how do you get your site to rank for this? How do you manage PPC with a $400 budget and you're in the auto segment, right? When they're finding us, the homepage and our case studies need to sell them on the idea that they should get in touch and get a quote. If they have to go read my old blogs, that they're just not going to go to blogs and go, let's see what Jerry wrote a year ago. They don't care about that. We use the blogs as a gateway to bring more traffic. I don't want them leaving a page where they could convert.
So how would you set up your website? So like, okay, let's have a look at yours. This is your homepage.
Yeah. So what I would do is I'd link from certain content to other content, but always, trying to get them to like at the end of the piece we're talking about, it says, to end up a case study here yourself, get in touch and we'll give you a free consultation and a web audit or whatever we say. On the homepage, if I push you into case studies or testimonials, or look at the results we have, you just don't want to be saying, hey, read my blog, read my blog, read my blog. The blog, that's all I'm saying is I want people to think about the blog as a way to attract new people, not send people you already got. If that makes sense.
That's a shift in our mindset there. That's for another show. That's a shift in mindset there.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the opposite of the way we used to think of the blogs.
That's a shift in mindset. That's a shift in mindset that I think a lot of people, including myself, was not aware of, that we have to start rethinking, how to really use our site, which is our storefront, to really attract the type of people and direct them where we want them to go. Jerry, I'm running out of time. I am out of time. I'm way out of time. Right. And I have another guest coming on shortly. So what we're going to do, we're going to have another one as a sort of follow-up.
Great.
Yeah, I promise you that. So we'll be able to get more into what you're saying, that whole mind shift. And I know it may upset people, me saying that, and that is exactly what I want to hear right now. But this is a teaser into a follow-up. I don't normally do follow-ups necessarily unless it is really juicy stuff. So this is juicy stuff that we really need to understand the mind shift. So I want to thank you so much, Jerry, for sharing, going into the whole SEO and the keyword search and the planner and the SEM rush, etc., to kind of whet our appetite a bit in terms of, optimization and shifting from the traditional thought. I'm trying to stop sharing here so I can see you, and to shift from traditional thought to a different way of thinking now, that there has been a shift. And you see, the thing about it, Jerry, is that to keep up, which is so difficult. As soon as you discover, understand something, there it comes again, another shift. And so you're like, oh my God, how am I going to keep up with this?
Well, I think you guys, all of you, and we'll talk more about it, but if you keep becoming an expert more and more about what you do and answering real questions, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Sounds simple.
Yeah. And hire ClickGiant if not.
Right. And get shown up as a case study. That would be fabulous.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Jerry, for being on Between the Lines. I appreciate
having me.
I'm hearing the noise in the background with construction of all the times, but things happen. What the hell? The most important thing is that we were here, we shared, and persons listening will be able to get some value from this and be able to reach out to you for more help or advice. Yeah. Do you offer consultations by chance?
I'm sorry?
Do you offer free consultations?
Yeah, we do. We especially for real people and good brands, and it doesn't matter how small. That's how we built this company, was helping small companies and startups. Yeah. So we'll do a web audit. We'll just take a look and show you what we see and where the opportunities might be, what your competition's up to, and then a strategy. And it's it's more affordable than people think. Yeah. We have brands from a dentist to e-commerce brands that are doing $5 million dollars a month online. there's a plan for everybody, and it's
And I like that. There's a plan for everybody. I love that. There's a plan
Yeah.
for everybody. Thank you so much, Jerry, for being
Thanks for having me.
on the lines and for sharing. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much. I'll talk to you soon.